Welcome to Elm Street, where sleep is a mistake and nightmares are forever. I'm Freddy Kruger. You might think you're safe listening to this podcast, but once you hear my name, there's no waking up. This week, the 80s Rewatch crew are stepping into my world to revisit the horror classic that made audiences afraid to close their eyes. Yes, A Nightmare on Elm Street. So grab your coffee, stay awake, and join them as they uncover the scares, the secrets, and the legacy of a film that turned dreams into a living hell. Sweet dreams, if you can survive them.
Hey Nancy, no running in the hallway.
I like that bit. Yeah.
And then Nancy pulls out the secret coffee percolator and starts drinking coffee.
I thought exactly the same. This is the bit that I rewound.
It's the Cat Jaw Institute for Sleep Disorders. What about that?
And then you just see this volcano of blood come up, don't you?
This is my 80s rewatch position.
You wouldn't show that, surely.
This effect is absolutely amazing.
The house that Freddy built.
Do it, Nancy.
This is where her hair's turned grey. How does he drag her through that window? Shall we sharpen up the knives, Darren? Slip on the glove, drop on the trilby. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
So, Simon, A Nightmare on Elm Street, our first real horror on 80s rewatch. And back in 84, this film was scaring millions across the world. It introduces to a new kind of horror where you could be killed in your sleep. And believe me, this film freaked a lot of people out back then.
Definitely. I'll go with that because rewatching it, I think I rewatched it a few years ago when the remake came out. I think it was 2010.
Yes.
And I watched it and I thought, obviously being older, it more made me laugh than scare me back then. But
Laugh?
because, some of it, we'll get into that in a minute. But now I've rewatched it and I've really been taking it in and looking at it through a professional podcaster's eyes, should I say.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why, who else watched it?
Yeah, it wasn't me. So I watched it and I really did enjoy this time because I was looking at everything. I was looking past what I looked at before. And it really is, like you say, it's quite a clever horror film when you dive into it.
It is. So you said you rewatched it. Whereabouts did you rewatch it?
I watched it last night between the World Cup. I'm kind of having to jiggle these in between World Cup matches. So I watched it on the sofa with my normal cup of coffee. And this week's biscuit of choice, Darren, was again from one of our leading supermarkets that ends in Burries. It was their own, I think their oatmeal cookies. Oh, fantastic, Darren. Really did enjoy them last night with my usual cup of coffee and A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Wow. Well, I watched it, and this is going to surprise you now. I watched it in the house on the sofa, and seeing as we're recording this in the middle of a massive heat wave, I was sensible, and I had a couple of bottles of non-alcoholic beer. It's not worth a dehydrated, sleepless night for a few glasses of wine.
I am talking to Darren Brown, aren't I? I'm not talking to somebody else.
I did. I had a few glasses of wine last week, and it was horrendous through the night. I thought, I'm not doing that again. No way.
No, because to be honest, Darren, you didn't want to get too much of that and have the nightmares where Mr. Kruger enters your dreams, do you?
Hey, I never thought of that.
No, you see, you didn't want to wake up and Freddy Kruger be next to you.
Well, I see that every night, but as long as the missus doesn't listen to this, that's okay.
Darren, dear. I think I'd sooner go up against Freddy Kruger than the lady wife if she hears that one.
So when did you first watch it then? Can you remember? You said you'd rewatched it. So when did you first watch it?
Now, this one's a bit of a strange one because I kind of remember watching the second one before the first one.
Okay.
Because when we were younger, you didn't really do things in sequence. It was more of a Christine's video shop, looking through the box art. And I vividly remember the second one's box art because there's a school bus, isn't there? And he's behind it.
Yes.
And I kind of kept looking at it. And then one day I thought, I'll give it a go. and I really enjoyed the second one. So then, obviously, then you think, oh, hang on, there must be a one before this. So then I think I would have gone for the first one, but I'm not 100% sure when I first watched it.
So, were you still at school? Can you remember, or?
Yes, I would have been. I'd probably have been about 11 or 12, probably 12 when I first watched it.
Wow.
I know, that's quite, frightening. We've said on previous podcasts, I wouldn't let my kids rent an 18. But again, like I've said on numerous podcasts before, my mum was always very good with things like this.
Yes.
She was, she knew what they were. She never stopped us. She wouldn't let us have any, should we say, adult films, if you know what I mean.
Of course, yes.
But she was never really bothered with what film we watched, to be fair. And
Well, you must have come across as being quite grown up at that early age.
well, you thought you were, didn't you? 11, 12, 13, you thought you knew it all. You thought you was 32, basically, didn't you? But you wasn't by any means. And with myself having a 12-year-old coming up to 13-year-old now, I look at it completely differently. And I do actually think sometimes when Ava will say, Dad, can I watch this? And I say no. And I think, well, my mum and dad let me watch it.
But
know what I
they
mean?
they were different times, weren't they?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I know that's an easy thing to say, but they definitely was.
Yeah, I think, like we've said before, I think my personal view is social media is great. It's brilliant for a lot of things, for getting these things out there, our podcast, things like that. But it's also not very good for other things, is it really?
True.
Especially for kids and things. And I look at it more like that. But we lived a lot simpler life back then, Darren. And I think we've said before, and I've said it before, to me, sometimes I wish that my kids lived in that similar sort of era of where we didn't have mobile phones, we didn't have everything given to us, we didn't have next day delivery on everything. You had to wait for things.
Oh, the build-up.
The build-up, and it just kind of going off track a little bit. The other night we're watching the World Cup. My little boy Harry said to me, I really like the pink boots are the big thing at the Nike boots at the World Cup. I really like them. Went on Nike. Thursday morning, there you go, they're there. I never had anything like that when I was a kid. I had everything I wanted, but I had to wait for it.
For your birthday or Christmas, and
Yeah.
that was it.
That was it. Or if my mum and dad were just feeling generous at some point, you'd get certain things. But no, it was a lot better time. And I think that's why we kind of do this. This is why we like to look back on the fondness of the memories that we had as kids, just being kids, basically.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes, yes.
So where did you first watch this one, Darren?
Well, I remember seeing the trailer on Film 84 with Barry Norman. I always used to watch that. I used to absolutely love it. And as soon as I saw it, I was totally mesmerised. I mean, the whole concept seemed new, and it played with your head, just like the old episodes of The Twilight Zone I used to watch. Now, I was only probably about 14 when this came out, so I couldn't go to the cinema to watch it at all. But when it came out on video, it was round at my friend's house and watching it with him. It was also a film that was talked about a lot at school, especially of a girl who had a nightmare of Freddy and had to see a social worker, and they were thinking of having her put away. Although that was an absolute load of rubbish, at 14 you bought into it. It was like when people say, if you fall from a high building and hit the floor, you really die. So that's why you wake up. But how would anybody know that? How would anybody know unless you woke up the dead and say...
That's quite true.
Kind of,
yeah, that quite made me smile. That, yeah, to be honest, you're quite right there. Well,
how would you know? Would you
how
say?
would you know?
You hit the floor, didn't you? And you dead person go, yeah, well, you see, you should have woke up. It was a load of rubbish, but you bought into it as a kid.
Yeah. And
You go to bed with these kind of thoughts of, if I fall in my sleep and I don't wake up. And this is why Freddy Kruger, amongst us, had such an impact on us.
Oh,
So yeah, sorry, I was round at my mates, and I got the prime seat and this one, Noshables ready, lights out, and I absolutely loved every minute of it.
It is good. It's not, to be honest with you, when I watched it last night, it's only about an hour and a half, isn't it? It's not a long film.
No, but that's also a trait of the 80s. And I know we've done a few podcasts which have gone over, especially the blockbusters. but the majority of films were about an hour and a half.
Yeah, they were. They weren't, like you say, monster films we get like now. And I think the way this one really works is because I think we can safely say that we've all at some point in our lives had a nightmare. And you know how you feel when you wake up from a nightmare.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a nice feeling, is it? You know, when you wake up, because at first you don't know. You're like, oh God, it was just a nightmare. But they're so vivid in your mind, aren't they? You remember them.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
they do scare you. You don't know where they come
Yeah.
from or anything.
Yeah.
And this is what these kids were going through.
Yeah, and I think this is quite clever because they all slowly start to have nightmares with a man with a red and green jumper, don't
Yes.
they? Yes, that's good. I mean, so like you say, this was released in 1984, so it still pretty holds up. I mean, the effects, some of them are a bit shaky, which we'll talk about in a minute, but on the whole, it still holds up as a decent horror film.
Yes, and especially for 84.
Yeah, I mean, in 84, I'll go through the list of the top 10.
Oh,
Now,
very good.
we've done 84 quite a few times. So
Oh, what a year. What a year,
Oh,
Simon.
I was just about to say the same thing. And I think last night when I was writing these down, I don't know why it's never done it before. It suddenly hit me when I was writing these down. The films on this top 10, we don't get releases like this anymore.
No.
Do we? This volume of films, what I'm about to say now, in this year, phenomenal films, really good films. So number 10 was Splash.
Splash, yes. Daryl Hannah, is it? And Tom
Yes,
Hanks, seen
Tom
that?
Hanks.
It's
Yeah.
all right.
Number 9 is Star Trek 3, A Search for Spock.
Yes. Have we mentioned that before? We've
We have,
mentioned.
yeah.
Yes.
We have. Number 8 was Romance in the Stone.
That's a great film. Yes.
Number 7, one we've covered on previous podcasts, Footloose.
Brilliant. Oh, yes.
Number 6, Police Academy.
Yes. Another one of the funniest films of the 80s.
Number 5 was Karate Kid.
And I think I've said this before. Are all these in the same?
Yeah, this is what I'm just saying. This volume of films for this year of 1984 is fantastic. And number 4 was Gremlins.
What?
Yeah, and
Okay.
number 3 was Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
You're just making this up now.
No, I'm not making this up at all. It gets better as we're getting these last two. Number 2 is Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, every week we say Eddie Murphy, don't
Eddie
we?
Murphy.
We will have to do Eddie Murphy because he's just the god.
He is of this era. And number 1 was Ghostbusters.
Wow.
So you look back at that, like you've just said, and if I looked at this last night and I thought to myself, we've done Footloose, we've done Karate Kid, we've done Gremlins, and we've done Ghostbusters. So out of that top 10 films, we've done 4 of them. So that shows you what a good year that must have been for film. That we've picked them. We've not gone off this. We've picked those films.
That's incredible. It really is. And when you're reading about, look at the genres with music,
Yes.
and with supernatural, and with comedy, and with drama. It's all covered all across the board.
Yeah, and I did look into where A Nightmare on Elm Street came on the list. Now, this is a bit hazy because I'll do the releases and then I'll get back to the where it landed on the chart.
Okay.
It was released in America on November the 9th, 1984. We got it in the UK March 1st, 1985.
Really?
Yes, and the VHS release date for this was April the 4th, 1986.
Wow, that's quite a distance, isn't it?
Distant, but this one's even better, Darren. I looked at when it was premiered on UK TV, when it first was shown on our UK screens. So the TV premiere of Nightmare on Elm Street was on BBC One, and it was on August the 28th, 1993.
No way.
Yes. So I'm thinking, wow.
That's 9 years.
9 years since its release it took to get it onto the TV. And it landed, it didn't actually chart anywhere in 1984 because I think it was released November. So it actually shows up on a chart in 1985. Now this quite surprised me, to be honest with you. It charted at number 44.
Really? That's quite far back.
It is because it was made on a $1.8 million budget and it went on to gross $25 million. So if you put that into context with like Ghostbusters went on to, it's near 300 million.
Wow.
So it was decent, but it wasn't massive.
I suppose it doesn't appeal to everybody, scary films, do they?
No, I must admit, nowadays, I don't really watch horror as much, because I find the horrors of today's horror, it's just completely over the top, isn't it now? It's, what can we do what no one else has done before? Where these old-fashioned horrors are proper horror, in my eyes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, Simon, with that in mind, shall we start by looking into Nightmare on Elm Street?
Shall we sharpen up the knives, Darren? Slip on the glove, drop on the trilby. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
Sorry.
So, I thought that was good. I made that up off the cuff. I thought that was good.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm just
didn't write that
surprised by
down.
it.
Yeah, I just did that in my head then, just quickly, because I thought I need to say something witty, like I normally try and do. So
Right.
yes, Darren, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
Right, this is supposed to be a horror, and now I'm laughing at it. So, anyway, the film starts with what we know as Freddy Kruger. And he seems to be making the glove that you've just mentioned. And it's the same glove that he killed all the children with. And it's pretty gruesome, isn't it?
Yeah, I kind of forgot how this film started,
Yeah, me too.
because obviously it comes on the screen, doesn't it? New Line Cinema. Now, a bit of trivia as we first start this. New Line Cinema in the 80s had a nickname, and I think they still call it this now. Do you know what the nickname is for New Line Cinema?
Nope.
The house that Freddy built.
What?
The house that Freddy built, because New Line Cinema back then wasn't a big film studio. I think someone who had to remortgage the house to put up the 1.8 million to get this film made.
Wow.
And obviously it went on to make 25 million. So this film, in theory, saved New Line Cinema. So they call it the house that Freddy built, thanks to A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Blimey. And I'm sure I've seen loads of films with New Line Cinema.
Yes, I have. It became quite a lot bigger after this. I think this film saved it. So A Nightmare on Elm Street is really fondly remembered by New Line Cinema, which I think is quite good.
I think it's fantastic, yes.
Yes.
Well done, Freddy. Oh, well done, Wes Craven, because he's the
Craven.
man behind it, isn't it?
Yes. So like you say, we see him doing his glove. Now this bit, if you didn't know, you'd be a little bit confused, because we see Tina, don't we?
We do.
Running down some
It's like a
dingy,
tunnel, isn't it?
Yeah, like a dingy basement. And at first you wonder what is going on here, but obviously she must be having a nightmare dream.
Yes, but we don't know this yet because
No.
we kind of don't know the film when we've kind of first watched it. And did you know where she's running was actually Lincoln Heights Jail in California?
Was it?
When she gets to the boiler room.
Now the boiler room, supposedly, the boiler room was a proper boiler room.
It was, of the jail, yes.
Yeah, and the temperature was excessive. Was it 100 degrees in there, supposedly?
I know how she feels.
Yeah, so not just doing this, it was like with Freddy with all his makeup on, Tina's makeup on, they had to keep stopping to retouch everything up because it was obviously melting, in theory. Because Freddy's face, do you know what Freddy's face is based on?
Not really. And don't say me.
No, the inspiration behind his face came from a pepperoni pizza.
What?
Yes, one of the producers, or I think it could have been even Wes Craven, was having a pepperoni pizza because originally he wasn't going to be burned. And then he came up with the idea of, what if he's burnt and he looks like that pizza? And that's what put the idea into his head.
I'll never eat a stuffed crust the same again.
Yeah, because the bit of trivia was, before they cast Robert Englund for this role, they was actually Wes Craven was looking at proper Burns victims to play the role.
Right, blimey.
And then I think Robert Englund came in and he did his audition, and I think he just blew them all away with his audition because, to be fair, he does this part brilliantly.
Yeah, very creepy. Very good.
Yeah.
So yeah, we see sheep and all sorts going past, and we're kind of wondering.
Didn't get that.
But I suppose that's the obscurity of having a dream. Anything can happen, can't it?
Yes. It can. And then you see her like she backs up to like a furnace, doesn't she?
Yes.
And you see Freddy kind of walk past, and then all of a sudden he's behind her,
Yes.
and then she wakes up. So I like the bit where he can kind of move without being seen.
Yes.
Quite clever.
And even from an early stage, the music in it's really creepy, isn't it?
Oh,
It builds
yeah.
the tension.
Definitely. And I like the next bit where she wakes up and her mum comes in and she says, "Oh, it's okay, I've just had a nightmare."
Yes.
And she says, "A nightmare that's done that." And she's got like slash marks on her 90, hasn't she?
She has.
So,
And then this kind of deadbeat comes in, who's been seeing her mum, and kind of pulls her back into bedroom, doesn't it?
yeah, like a typical male. He thinks she's up, I'm up, getting there. Doesn't he? It's one of them.
Yes.
Yeah, so, and then she grabs a crucifix, and I quite like this next bit because obviously this is the famous song, isn't it? We got the three girls skipping with the rope.
It's one of the creepiest music in cinematic history, I think.
Do you know the song? I don't want me to sing it, but do you know the sequence?
Do you want me to say it? Okay.
Go on then. Let's see.
So, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door. 5, 6, grab a crucifix. 7, 8, better stay up late. 9, 10, never sleep again.
Excellent, Darren. Well done. Well done. I think we all used to sing that. I remember singing that at school. I think everybody did. I think a lot of people did. And then obviously we cut to them now going into school. Now, this school was used for another famous film. Do you know what film this school has also been in?
Are you going to... I don't know. I was going to guess it Back to the Future, but...
No. It was in Greece. It was the school in Greece.
No way.
Yes.
I've seen Grease 20 million times.
Yes. I can't place it, but it's...
No, I can't.
Obviously we do the research for this, and this is the bit I quite like doing the research because I do know quite a bit, but obviously I like to know things I don't know. And
Yes,
it was Greece it was used for.
Wow, that's a proper fact. Now, well done for digging that one out.
Yes.
And it's a bit like table tennis. I'm going to hit you back with one. When you see the girls skipping, and it's a bit creepy, one of the girls that's skipping actually lives where Tina's house is. That's her real house. Her mum and dad allowed it to be used, and her child was in the opening montage.
Oh, that's good, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
Not as good as Grease, but wow.
Greece, yeah. It was in Greece, and another one of your favourite films. Now you should know, because I know you love this film.
It's
It was
not,
in another...
not Footloose.
No, you're close. You're getting in the right era.
Well, that's 84 again.
Yeah, well, you're getting the right sort of, Pretty in Pink.
Oh, that's a brilliant John Hughes film. That was the school in Pretty in Pink.
Yeah, that's the school. Because I made a note, while we were talking, I was glancing at my notes, because I'm thinking, there's another one, I can't remember what it was, but it was Pretty in Pink.
What a wonderful film as well.
Yes, very good.
Anyway.
Sorry, I'm taking you off track.
So yeah, they're walking to school, and then Rod, which is Tina's boyfriend, comes up behind her, cracks a crude joke, but really, Tina's bothered about this dream she's had. Nancy wants to reassure her that everybody has dreams.
Yes, she does, which is quite true. We all have nightmares, not to this excess, but we all have nightmares. But then we see them, it's Tina's house, isn't it, we're next in? And then Nancy and Glenn. Now, this is the first time, we've just seen Glenn, haven't we? A young Johnny Depp.
Yes, very
This
young.
was his first film role.
He's first.
His first. He actually got this by accident, this part, because he went with, and this is quite ironic, I don't know the guy's name offhand, when they did the remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street, the guy that played Freddy in the 2010 version,
Okay.
he was good mates with Johnny Depp, and he went to audition for a role in this part for A Nightmare on Elm Street. And he didn't get it, but I think it was someone's daughter pointed out Johnny Depp and said, he might be a good fit for Glenn because he's really good looking. And then they asked him to read something, he read it, and then he got the part. So he didn't actually go for the part of this. He wasn't even an actor. But because he was quite good looking, they put him in.
And look where it all landed.
Yeah. Look what happened there. He didn't do bad for himself, did he really?
Yeah.
be
So,
fair.
like you say, at Tina's house,
Glenn's kind of messing around with his special effects tape.
I think that's brilliant. That's brilliant because he's talking to his mum. Doesn't he say he's at the airport?
I think he does, yeah.
And then there's a car crash and he says he's got to go outside because I think somebody's been hurt.
Yes, and he can't turn it off, can he? And Nancy tries to turn it off and she messes it all up. And then he says, Mom, I've got to go.
Yeah, but did that not just scream 80s to you when you watched it? Do you remember doing the charts and you'd have to try and stop it in between adverts? Like when
yes.
he's talking to his mum, he's trying to stop it and then
Yes.
play it again. And, you know, it's just kids of today won't know what, a tape is, will they?
I mean, we called them ghetto blasters, didn't
Yes,
we? In
we
those days. And look at it. Look how cool it looks. Got two big massive speakers. It's got a tape cassette, a graphic equalizer, a radio. And you could record on it. If you wanted to record something off the radio today, how would you do it?
I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a clue. You just re-listen to it on download, wouldn't you? Download it and just re-listen to it. But I think back then, if you remember, if you was doing the charts or you was recording anything, you couldn't make a noise, could you? Because what you was recording, it'd pick up the noise, wouldn't it?
Everything in that room.
Everything. So if someone came in and spoke to you, they'd be on that recording.
But how it's changed, I mean, you could buy a cassette then, a bit like a video cassette, and you could record and record and record over it. You can't do that anymore. You have to pay. You have to subscribe to everything. They've cornered that kind of market off.
Yeah, they have. And it's like just thinking, like you're saying there, it's like if we go to the cinema now, obviously it tells you to turn your phone on to silent and this, that and the other. But you do subconsciously, you look at your phone, to see if anyone's tried to get hold of you. But back in the 80s, we didn't have that. So you was invested in the film. So like when I'm watching this last night, I purposely now, I put my phone in the kitchen. I shut it in the kitchen, put it onto silent, and I don't want to be bothered with anything. You know what I mean? I want to watch it like I did back then.
Of course.
Not have anything else on my mind other than what I'm watching. And I say that's the 80s to me. But that, like I say, the Ghetto Blasters, everything about that is cool. I'd love a Ghetto Blaster. I've said it numerous times on here. In my 80s man cave shed, I love one of them on the shelf. Now you've said that, you know what I'm looking for tonight on eBay and Vinted, don't you?
Yes.
A Ghetto Blaster. So yes, now we see Glenn. Now this is typical horror to me because there's like a banging at the door, isn't there, or a scratching at the door.
Yes, they hear something, and Glenn decides to go, doesn't he?
Would you walk outside if you heard scratching and banging at a door late at night, Darren?
Now, is this because Glenn is supposed to be the man of the house and he's doing the stereotypical male thing? I think we're a bit more... we're not like that anymore, are we? We're more likely to push the girls out. Well, there's two of you. Go on, get out.
You've hit the nail on the head. I was about to say the same thing. I'd be stood behind the girls going, just go and have a look. And if you see anything, scream.
Yeah, my wine's going cold.
Yeah, your wine never goes cold. Does it? It's not, it's down before it gets cold in your house, Mr. Brown. So he goes out, doesn't he? And he's looking around the garden. And typically he says, is there anybody out there? And I always think this when people do this in films. What do you think they're going to say? Yes, I'm over here.
Yeah.
I'm here. Wave at him. I'm here. Yeah, come and get me. That's it. I'm here. But it's Rob, isn't it? That's hiding in the bushes.
It's Rod, yeah.
Rod, sorry. Rod, yes. He's
And then he
he's
dives
hiding
out of nowhere, doesn't he? Scaring everyone.
He does. And then he takes, obviously, Glenn down and he thinks he's top man because he's scared everyone. And then he goes in the house. He's only come for one thing, hasn't he?
Yes, he's come for a glass of wine, hasn't he? And, whatever else.
He's come to see his girlfriend, Darren, basically.
Yeah, we'll keep it at that.
We'll keep it at that, yeah.
I mean, it soon cuts to bedtime, doesn't it? And
yes.
Glenn's laid there and he can hear a loud, well, shall we say, snoring. You can hear a loud snoring coming from Tina and Rod's room.
Well, if you heard snoring, I thought they were wrestling, Darren. That's what I thought they were.
Did you? Right.
I thought they were wrestling upstairs, yes. So, yes, that's going on upstairs. And then it's quite good, this bit, because obviously I think with this film, you kind of, at the minute, don't know what's real and what's a dream.
True.
It's very, very cleverly done, because you don't really know what's happening as of yet, because to be fair to Freddy, you've not seen a great deal of Freddy. Now, another bit of trivia. Do you know how much screen time Freddy had in this film?
No, I don't actually.
7 minutes.
7 minutes?
He's only on the screen 7 minutes in total.
Wow. There's the thing. You think
Yeah.
he's in it all the way through?
No. So if you think about it, an hour and a half film, there's 123 minutes where he's not on that screen. But you don't notice.
You don't.
You kind of don't notice that he's not there, because he's kind of always there in the background, but he's not there.
No, he isn't.
So, and I think with his character, that Wes Craven wanted him to be silent, like Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers. They don't speak, do they? So he wanted him to be silent, but then he changed his mind, and good job he did, because Freddy's quite a sarcastic, sinister person, isn't he?
Yes.
And
He's
I
a
think
nasty piece of work.
Exactly. I think that's what adds to his character, because obviously we talk about later why the parents did what they did, but I think that works, his humour with it.
It does, because it's like dark humour. It's not funny.
Yeah,
and it's sarcastic and it's nasty.
And there's a bit in a minute that's coming up, which I'll touch on in a minute, that I've forgotten about. And when I watched it last night, I rewound it and I watched it again, and it quite made me smile and laugh.
So anyway, sorry. After they finish wrestling, Rod kind of accepts that guys have nightmares too, doesn't he? Which kind of makes you think, is he having the same kind of dreams? But this next bit I love, because it cuts to Nancy's room. And as she's sleeping, the crucifix above her head on the wall just flicks off. And I always think that in any horror films, the simpler the scare, the scarier it is. And I think that's probably because it's believable.
Yeah, because I really looked at this, when he did this. It's his head, isn't it, that's pushing forward. Now, when he first makes, the bulge in the wall, doesn't he?
Yes.
You can't make out his head, really. You make out the knives in his hand. It's when it goes backwards, when he pulls away from it. Yes. Then you can make out his face.
Yes.
So, like I say, she's asleep, and it's showing you again that he's always there.
But it's a fantastic scare, isn't it?
Yes.
And you're never at your most vulnerable than when you're asleep.
No, that's true. And then now, obviously, Tina is hearing some stones being thrown at a window.
Yes. Which I can't understand that. Has Freddy lost his keys or something? He's kind of trying to wake her up. But I suppose it's just to grab her attention.
It is. But, again, what I've just touched on, what would you not do in this situation?
You wouldn't confront Freddy, for starters. You'd be waking your boyfriend up.
Yeah, you'd be waking him up. You definitely wouldn't go outside, would you?
No chance.
Not a prayer. But, she goes outside, and then we're in the alleyway then, aren't we?
We're in the alleyway, but we realise then that she must be dreaming now, or is she? We're not too sure, are we, at this moment?
No, because she's in the alleyway, she's looking around, we see a dustbin lid. Obviously, then gets her attention. And I like this bit, because then you see the shadow of Freddy's, is it like a trilby, isn't it?
Yes.
And then this next bit, I know it's an old film, but for me, when I was watching it, it's like,
what are you going to say?
This is bizarre. Why are his arms 10 foot long?
I remember seeing this back in the 80s, and I remember definitely thinking at the time, how is Tina going to get past? He's blocked all the alleyway. What?
Yeah.
How is she going to get past?
And I think this next bit, I quite like this next bit, because obviously then she's looking at him, and I can't think what he says. He says something sinister, doesn't he? And holds the knives to his face. And then this is where you kind of see his creepy face for the first time.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, quite rightly, she runs for it. And it's his run behind her.
Well, I think he shrunk about 5 foot.
Yeah. I thought that. How small is he? And then, obviously, he's running in a really weird way, which kind of works. Doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks a bit creepy. It's not as though you'd, probably run like that now, but if I were a fit young man, I probably wouldn't. And do you know his arms? Did you know, and this will probably spoil it for the rest of your life, that there were props guys with fishing rods holding his arms up off camera that you couldn't see? That's how they made them that long.
Oh, dear. But, out the whole film, that's the only bit, if I'm being critical here, that I'm like, I don't really get that bit, you know, with the long arms. But back then, you know, it's horror, anything goes, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
it was
then,
scary.
yeah, definitely. And
So Tina
then
runs back to the house, doesn't she?
I like, this is the bit that I rewound because he appears behind a tree, doesn't he?
Yes.
And then she's just looking at him and he chops off 2 of his fingers.
Disgusting. Yeah.
When he chops his fingers off, did you notice his eye movement?
Did he kind of look towards the fingers?
He
or
looks
gesture?
he looks at the fingers, then he's looking back at Tina. He looks at the fingers, looking back at Tina. And his eyes are constantly like going left to right. So that quite made me smile. So I had to rewind it and think, why have I not noticed that before? And then obviously she runs towards the house and he grabs her. But what I noticed watching this back, for Freddy being this serial killer, most of the girls can fight him off.
That's
Do you know
right,
what I mean?
yes.
They put up a fight. They can fight him off because he's not the biggest of people. So I'm thinking, you don't actually see one of the guys, you know, one of the jocks, go against him. So you don't see what he'd be like if one of those were fighting him.
Ah, right, yeah, I see what you mean, yes.
Because you don't see that. It's just girls he kind of goes for in this.
Yeah, and she grabs his face and pulls the skin off his face,
Oh.
doesn't she?
God, that reminded me of a film and I can't remember what it was. But yeah, it did. And then obviously she runs in. But then we're back in the bedroom then, aren't we?
We
And
are.
He's under the sheets on top of her, fighting her, isn't he?
He is. And Rod kind of jumps out of bed as if to say, what's going off? Now, to me, this effect is absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
I think the way it kind of cuts Tina down her chest, doesn't it, first?
Yeah.
And then it lifts her off the bed and spins around, and that really freaked me out.
well, when she gets spun round, she actually headbutts
Yes,
Rod,
she
doesn't
does.
she?
Yes.
And which knocks him down. But the way they filmed it, supposedly it was in a rotating room.
Oh, was it?
So, you know where they get to go on the ceiling? She's obviously not on the ceiling. It's a room that rotates round. So that gives the illusion that she's being thrown around this room. Obviously by
sorry.
Freddy.
I know why this freaked me out, and it did for a few years, because back in 1984, I remember reading the papers about the Enfield poltergeist and how reporters had just witnessed 2 girls, Janet and Margaret, lifted and flung off their beds in a London bedroom between 77 and 79. And seeing this, it did freak me out. And if we ever do poltergeist, I'll tell you some of the weird stuff that used to happen in my house in the 80s. Yeah.
I look
Still-
forward to that one.
And this kind of it reminded me of that. I remember seeing pictures of it, of these 2 little girls, and they were in midair, and reporters were looking, and I'm thinking, is this real? Can this really be done? And you were seeing it in front of your eyes. And back in 84, it really upset me. Didn't like it. But what a brilliant effect.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's very well done, that bit. And I think, obviously, when she falls down from the ceiling, I mean, the room is just covered in blood because Freddy's been obviously slashing her, hasn't he, with his glove. And then,
Yeah, Nancy and Glenn kind of burst in, see what's going off. And Rod's gone, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So he's obviously the prime suspect.
yes, so he's not helped himself by running off at all, has he, to be fair?
I'd run off if I was him.
Well,
So
yeah,
that-
I can see why he's done it. I think I'd have been the same, but it's not helped his cause, has it, really?
No, because we now cut to the police station, don't we?
Yes.
And even the police are saying Rod's the main suspect. And this is the first time we see Lieutenant Donald Thompson as he enters his office.
Who is Lieutenant Donald Thompson?
He is the fantastic John Saxon, and I remember him out of Enter the Dragon.
Yes, but also in this, who is he?
Oh, he's Nancy's dad.
Nancy's dad. Which you don't automatically know, do you, until obviously he walks in, because we've not seen him with Nancy, because obviously the mum is there, isn't he? Now, mum's called Marge, isn't she?
Now, sorry, is it me? But there's something not quite right about Marge, Nancy's mum.
Yeah, well, there's a bit, I'll tell you near the end, which they deleted, and I think it would have made a lot more sense if they'd have kept it in, to do with Marge.
I think she's weirder than Freddy Kruger myself.
Yes, there's something there. And at the end, it's weird with her, which we'll touch on.
Yes.
So, and then she's at the police station and then she gives a statement and then she's back home. Now, I thought this was quite bizarre. She's looking at the TV and we see Tina being wheeled away on the news. You wouldn't show a body like that on the news, would you?
Not really. No, you're quite right. Is this in the morning?
Yeah, because she's on the gurney, as they call it, isn't she? In the body bag. And you see her arm just drop down.
Yes.
Covered in blood.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, you wouldn't show that, surely.
No.
Even in the 80s, you wouldn't show that.
But Nancy's mum, Marge, she's having vodka for breakfast, isn't she? Instead of a bowl of cornflakes.
Well, when I was watching this, I thought it was round at the Browns' house. I thought it wasn't Elm Street. I thought they'd moved around to your neck of the woods because you have a bottle of wine for breakfast, don't you, most days?
Yeah, I'm only down to one now.
I must say, listeners, I'm only joking. He only drinks when he's doing the podcast. He's not one of these that has it with his cornflakes in the morning.
No, although I might try it now after seeing that.
Yeah. But like you say, I think she's got a little bit of a drink problem, hasn't she?
Yes, and I think it's probably, we'll find out later why she's still drinking. At first I thought it was because the lieutenant had left her and they'd split up. It could be that. It could be a number of things.
Well, there's a bit, like I said, I'll say near the end. I won't tell you now. I'll say near the end. I think that might make a bit more sense. And it would have made more sense if he'd have kept it in.
Yeah.
So,
but Nancy wants to go to school, doesn't she? Her mother doesn't want her to go to school, but Nancy insists. But as she starts to walk to school, she notices she's being watched, doesn't she?
Very suspect-looking individual, that man, do you not think? He just screams police officer, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's not making it, he's not being inconspicuous, is it?
No, not at all.
But as she's walking, who comes out the bushes and drags her in?
Rod.
It's only Rod, isn't it?
Yeah, Rod's there. Yeah, so Rod comes out and grabs her, doesn't he, and tells her not to scream. And he's still obviously in the same clothes from last night, no shoes on.
Yeah, and she asks him, did you do it? And he says, I never touched her. There was someone else there.
Yes.
And just as he says that, Lieutenant Thompson is there pointing a gun at him, saying, just stay there.
So now they've got their prime suspect, haven't they?
They have. But Nancy jumps in front of her dad, doesn't she? So he can't shoot, and he legs it down the road.
Yeah.
But he don't get very far, does it?
No, because they're waiting for him in theory on. They kind of, I think they knew that he would show up somewhere.
But instead of shouting to the police, Rod shouts to Nancy, saying, I didn't do it. I didn't do it, Nancy.
I like that. Yeah, he does, but that's him arrested now, isn't it? He's in police custody, should we say. And then it flicks back to Nancy at school. Now, she's starting to drift to sleep, isn't she, at the back of the classroom?
Yes, and I remember back in the 80s, many of my friends were confused because they didn't know when Nancy was dreaming because it still looked like she was awake. So it did confuse a few people.
Yeah, I said that a little bit ago. It's quite a clever film because you really don't know what's real and what's not real because it doesn't really show because obviously they look awake because they're moving about, but they're actually asleep.
I used to say, when weird things happening and Freddy appears, she's dreaming. So wait for weird things to happen.
Yeah, but it's strange because not all weird things happen, is it? And then, obviously, she looks at the side of her in the classroom and we see Tina in the body bag.
Oh, I love that scene. It looks really scary.
And this next bit, I like this bit where she's obviously being dragged down the hall and then her feet just raise up and her arm drops down again and then she's dragged off.
Again, a simple little thing like that.
Yeah, and it's like all the supposed blood on the floor. And I thought this bit was quite good because obviously she runs round the corner, runs into the hall monitor, isn't it, in America?
Yes.
And what's the hall monitor wearing?
She's wearing a red and green sweater. Did you spot it straight away? I spotted it straight away.
Because it's quite clean, this one. It's quite bright, isn't it?
Yeah.
And obviously, as she runs past saying that I can't remember what she says. And then she runs past and then this is where the hall monitor is basically Freddy Kruger, isn't she? With the glove.
And she says, hey, Nancy, no running in the hallway.
Yes, in a typical Freddy Kruger way.
Yes.
And then she's going down into the basement again, which obviously she's asleep, so this is the dream. But you wouldn't go down to that basement, would you?
Absolutely no chance.
No.
No chance.
So she's in the basement, and obviously she's still looking for Tina. Now, the bit I took from this, she's shouting Tina's name. Obviously, we know Tina's passed away.
Yes.
So she's not going to come back, is she?
No, but she sees Freddy because he does confront her, and he cuts himself, doesn't he? And green blood comes out and lots of maggots. What? Why?
Don't get that. Don't get it. I'm like, I didn't get that bit. It's like when he chops his fingers off. I didn't really get that bit, why he chops his fingers off. But then, obviously, we just see the glove then, don't we? Coming through the air. And this is obviously the same place as where Tina was when we first started the film.
Yes. Very good, yeah.
Yeah, because he was a janitor, wasn't he, Fred Kruger? This
Yes.
was the thing. And so this is obviously in the school, and it's down where he would have worked. And so this is obviously where he lives, should we say.
And you can hear him laughing, and he's toying with her, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's toying with her, and he's scraping his fingernails. And what does he say? Come to Freddy.
Yes, he does. And obviously this is the first time she's come across Freddy.
Yes.
And then she starts screaming, doesn't it? It's only a dream.
Yes.
And then to wake herself out of the dream, what does she do?
She burns her arm on the kind of boiler pipe to wake herself up, which I think is very clever, because usually in a dream you don't have any control whatsoever. But it just proves that she's got control and she can get herself out of it.
Yeah.
And when she comes round, she's in class. I'd forgotten about that she were in class.
Yeah. What would you do if that happened in your class at school and somebody was doing that behind you? Quite right, all the kids are looking as if to say, what the hell is wrong with you?
I'd lift my desk up and get that bottle of wine out and drink it and say, I'm on my way.
Nothing changes, does it really, to be fair? Nothing changes.
But the teacher tries to calm her down, doesn't she? But she's insistent, I'm going home. And I think it was funny how the teacher says, you'll need a hall pass.
Yeah. No, I don't. I think she's past that, the hall pass. And the bit I notice is when she's coming outside, and obviously she starts to cry a little, she hasn't noticed the burn on her arm, has she?
No.
She notices it in a minute. She's been there a little while, and then she finally notices it. I think you'd noticed that before.
You would do, but they're the little tie-ins from having a dream and in reality, and stuff like a burn on her arm make the two meet together.
Yeah,
they tie the two together, and you think, how is this possible?
Yes, you do. And then she's now in the jail, isn't she?
Yes.
Talking to Rod. And then he's saying, isn't he, that it wasn't him.
There was someone else in there.
Is this where he says that he's seen him in a dream as well?
I think so, yes. He's opening up. I think he tells her that about the cuts, and it's like 4 razors were cutting Tina all at once.
Yes.
He then tells her about the dream he had with a guy with knives for fingers. And Nancy kind of thinks, this is getting too weird for me, and she's off. But he is having those dreams as well.
Yeah, they're all kind of having the same... It's tying in now, isn't it, that they're having the same sort of dreams.
But we now see Nancy, who's played by Heather Langenkamp.
That's it.
Langenkamp.
Yes,
this is her favourite scene, the bath scene.
Oh, the bath scene, yeah, that's... Because wasn't it a bottomless bath that she was in, like a tub, wasn't it, with no bottom?
Oh, I don't know, was it?
Yeah, it was a bottomless bath, eventually, when she obviously gets dragged. But, like I say, this is still quite creepy, because now she's in the bath and she's trying to stay awake, but she's singing the song.
Yeah.
How does she know that song?
I think
Unless she's picked it up from somewhere.
Yeah, video library. She's seen it before. No. But yeah, it may be a song that the kids who were around at that time would sing.
Yes,
until Freddy got him.
Yeah, because Freddy was obviously from Elm Street, and this was years ago, wasn't it, that he was convicted? Because he was a convicted child killer, wasn't he?
He was.
So this bit I quite like, because how freaky is it when that hand's coming towards it, in the bath?
The camera shot on that is just brilliant.
Brilliant. And then, like I say, she's nodding off, and then he finally drags her under. And like I say, this is the bit where it's like a bottomless tub, because she just gets dragged straight down, and then she can pop back up. So even like the simple little things...
Exactly.
Make it work. They make it work.
But a mum hears a scream, doesn't she? And she tries to open the door. And then this bit for me, which I only just noticed by rewatching it, she comes back with a bit of old wire and picks the lock.
Yes.
And she picks it quicker than a burglar.
Yeah. Well, you just kick it straight through, because it's only an internal door, isn't it? So you soon kick that through. But like I say...
Where did she learn those skills from?
God knows. And then, obviously... We're in obviously Nancy's in bed then, isn't she? She's watching
Yes.
the TV. Do you know what film she's watching?
She's watching The Evil Dead.
Well done. I thought I'd catch you out with that one.
What a film to try and get you off to sleep.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like it's one of the Wes Craven's nods, isn't it, of the horrors?
I remember that release in 1981, The Evil Dead.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be able to watch that because I'm only 10 or 11. But some of my friends did, and they said it was the scariest film ever. They said it was that scary, you could not watch it in the daytime.
Yeah.
And for some reason, one of the lads never went in a forest on his own again. I don't know why, but
I still wouldn't now. You know what I mean? But it's like you say, it's little nods to things. I mean, Wes Craven, the way he thought of Freddy Kruger was, he looked out of his bedroom window when he was a child, and there was an old man with a trilby hat on, and he had a red and green jumper like the one that Freddy's wearing. And he said that he just stopped and looked at him in the eyes.
all right.
Started walking, turned, looked back at him, started walking again, stopped and turned and looked back at him again. And he said that image stuck with him because it obviously frightened him with being a young, obviously, kid. And he said that stuck with him, and that's where the inspiration come for Freddy's jumper, Freddy's hat, and how Freddy moves. But do you know where he got the name Fred Krueger from?
Not really, no.
Well, when he was at school, Wes Craven, he used to get bullied. And the bully's name was Fred Krueger.
No way.
Yes, so...
Really?
Yeah, to get revenge on Fred Krueger, he named him Freddy Krueger,
Wow.
the monster. And also Fred Krueger's name, because didn't it have something to do with the last house on the left? Wes Craven. I think he did.
Sure.
I think he did, but one of the characters in there is called Fred Krueger. One of the bullies.
That's
So
ridiculous.
obviously that stuck with Wes Craven all through his life. He never forgot Fred Krueger.
I think the only thing I know about Wes Craven is that he did go to college on Elm Street
Yes.
in Wheaton, Illinois, and that's it.
That's
I didn't know all
everything
them other
ties
things.
in. Yeah, everything ties in. It's quite clever. Very clever, because it's his, like we're talking about our childhood memories on here. This is basically his childhood memories from a bully, Elm Street, and some old bloke that scared him to death in a red and green jumper.
Poor fella.
Yeah, I know. And he went on to make this film. Who knew?
Yes.
Who knew?
But-
Who knew?
So where are we
sorry.
now?
We're back now because she's got Glenn now coming up through the window. And
Yeah, scaring everybody again because
Yes.
she was taking these tablets, these keep awake tablets,
yeah,
and
yeah.
she opens the window, and there he is. He's worse than Freddy Krueger, making people jump.
He is, and he's there now because she's going to go to sleep and she wants him to wake her up
Yes.
when she gets near Freddy, which backfires. So she's looking for Fred. What the bit I didn't get from this, because obviously she's walking out of the house, she's walking up the street, and she turns around and says, "Glenn, are you there?" And he comes from behind the tree.
Yes, he does.
I'm like, but right, this obviously must be part of the dream. And now she's going looking for Fred Krueger. Or Freddy, should we say. Freddy Krueger. And fair play to her. I wouldn't go looking for Freddy Krueger, would you?
I don't think so, no.
No. And now she's at the jail, isn't she, looking at Rod?
Yes, she is.
But who else is coming in to visit Rod?
Mr. K, yes, he's
Yes.
there, isn't he?
He's there, and he obviously just walks through the bars. And then this is it. And I quite like, when he's in there, she's banging, isn't she? And he's looking at her, smiling.
Yeah, because he knows there's nothing she can do. He's in control.
Yeah, he is. And then he disappears, doesn't he? And then we see Rod then obviously asleep in the bed. And she's shouting for Glenn, but what's Glenn doing? Glenn's fast asleep.
Of course.
So he can't wake her up. And we see Tina again in the body bag.
Yes.
And then is it a millipede or centipede comes out of her mouth?
Again, why?
God knows. Don't know. Probably adds to the illusion of scariness.
I suppose so, yeah. It's more, it's kind of gore, isn't it?
Yeah. And obviously now she's just wandering about looking for Freddy. And then he appears again from behind the tree.
Now at this bit, I'm sorry, just before this bit, I'm sat watching it with the wife, and she says, "Well, is she dreaming or not?" And I reminded her of what I said to people back in the 80s. I says, if you see things weird or that are not normal, like she's walking down the street in her pajamas, it's not normal. She says, "Listen, I work at a preschool. Mothers drop their kids off and they're still in the pyjamas. I can go to the supermarket and people are still in the pyjamas.
They do
And
nowadays.
I thought, you know what? Times have certainly changed, haven't they?
Definitely. How many people I see in the morning when I'm going to work early, go to the shopping like a onesie and things like this? How times
Yes.
have changed. I wouldn't go outside in a onesie or, well, I don't even own one, but I wouldn't go out in my pyjamas at least. Well, my pyjamas are just my boxer shorts, so I wouldn't walk out in them at all, you know what I mean? So, but I know what you're saying. I quite like this next bit because she comes back to the house
Yes.
and her feet are like sinking into the stairs. I like that bit. I think
That's
it's
what
quite
you
clever.
get when you can't run in a dream, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes. And then she finally makes it to the bedroom, and good old Glenn's asleep at the side of the chair, and
Yes.
she's fighting Freddy. And like I just said to you earlier, they managed to put up a fight with him. Don't
Yes, she
they?
does. She does, doesn't she?
She fights him, like she knocks him off the bed, she's rolling around with him, and he cuts the pillow, and then he's just about to get her with a glove, and the alarm clock goes off.
Yeah, and she's not happy.
No.
She's not happy with Glenn at all.
No, because obviously she's not happy, but it's also made her hair go grey, hasn't it, at the front?
Ah, right, I never noticed that. I noticed that when
noticed
she
that?
was in the hospital, but
Yeah.
not... No. Oh, right, well picked up on.
But they was going to put a full grey wig on her, so it made her hair go completely grey.
Wow.
And they said, no, we'll just put a strand of grey in. So that's, like I say, from being scared by Freddy, that's where the strand of grey came from.
Yeah,
And
I
then
think
good old
I think my hair would go grey and all if I saw Freddy.
Steady.
I said hair, as in
right,
one.
okay. Steady. Yeah, and then obviously good old Glenn has jumped out the window. And then we see Darren Brown comes to the door, staggering to the door again, asking if Nancy's all right. And then she just leaves and goes back to bed, doesn't she?
She does. And with all this horror, I was in need of a snack.
Okay.
And I needed a proper snack to help me through to the end of this film because I was scared. And I had just the snack in mind, and I saw these in the newsagents a few days ago. And I'd not seen them for years, and they were a bag of fangs. I don't know if you remember
Oh,
fangs.
I remember fangs, yeah.
A bag
definitely.
of crisp of the 80s. And I remember Bones. I don't know if you remember a crisp called
Yeah.
Bones.
Yes.
And I was absolutely amazed that I could still get them. Because I suppose you get older, you don't look for things like that anymore. But there they were. I thought, I'm having a bag of fangs. And that was my 2 alcoholic-free, a 2-drink snack of choice. I had a few more than 2, actually, because they're alcohol-free. But that was my snack of choice. And you know what? I'm going to be getting them again.
The good fangs are. Very good. I had them for years.
No, I haven't. I saw one. They really reminded me of when I was back in the 80s.
Oh, well done, Darren. Nice. And a proper 80s snack on 80s rewatch. I like that, Darren.
Oh, I've never even thought of that.
There you go, see. And then, obviously, now we've had our little snack and we're back into the film. This is the bit, obviously, now that Freddy is going for Rod, isn't it? Because they
Yes.
go to the police station and Nancy's pleading with her dad to take her down to see him. And just as they get to him, Freddy's obviously tied a noose around his neck, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's the bed sheet, isn't it?
Yes.
That's come up and tied all the way around his neck and lifted him up and probably broke his neck.
Yes, I think it does. I think because when he's up there, when they just enter the room, you kind of see his neck go to the side.
Yes.
So, like you say, because I did think last night he wasn't up there that long. So you could have probably got to him, if he just had it around his neck. But I think, like you say, I think it breaks his neck.
Yes. And then we're at his funeral, aren't we?
Yeah, but I thought we didn't have a funeral for Tina.
Oh, no, we didn't. See, I thought the vicar at this funeral was a little bit unfair because he did mention he who lives by the sword dies by the sword.
Yeah.
But he hasn't even done anything wrong.
No, I thought that was quite a strange statement for a vicar to come out with.
Yeah. But he's tarred with that brush, isn't he?
Yes.
Because they're not going to believe that somebody in your dreams killed you.
No, not at all. No.
And then
I don't think everybody
after
will.
that, outside the cemetery, Nancy tells her dad the killer is still loose, and Nancy describes him, and it's Freddy. And both mum and dad look horrified, don't they?
They know
and
the
decide
name.
to keep her at home.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they know the name, don't they? Fred Kruger. And then, but then a mum takes her to is it a dream specialist?
it's the Cat Jaw Institute for Sleep Disorders. What about that?
Oh, I had that wrote down.
Did you?
Yes, I was going to ask you what it was called. You beat me to it. But yeah, then she's there. All right, another. If we're doing the trivia bit, you know the man that's in charge, who's doing the data.
I know his face from somewhere, but I just don't know who he is.
Well, we spoke about this film the other week. It's a bit Marmite to people. I like it. He was the voice of Roger Rabbit.
Was he?
Yes, he's the voice of Roger Rabbit.
He reminded me a little bit of Steve Guttenberg.
Yes, he does. I get that. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, so, like I say, and he's a bit, I don't get why she's taking her here. Obviously, a bit of a strange one. And do you know what? I did think, because he's doing all the data and tapping the keys and looking at the sheet, isn't he?
Yes.
And Marge lights a fag up.
Yes,
I'm
I
thinking,
guess so.
how times have changed.
Yes.
How times have changed for the better, really. And then obviously she's in a deep sleep, and
You don't actually go into a dream. You just see her
No.
flinch and become more violent.
yeah,
And the doctors kind of run back in with the mum, don't they? And they try to administer like a tranquilizer.
why did
and-
they always do that?
I suppose it's like a sedative, isn't it? Just to calm her down.
But she's having none of it, is she? Because she says no, don't, because she knows it'll put us back to sleep.
Yes, and this is another part where we see that her hair's turned grey as well.
I think this is where her hair turned grey. I think I've jumped a scene. This is where her hair's turned grey.
Yes,
I've jumped the scene. Yes.
that's okay. And she's got a cut on her arm and this wonderful bit where she goes under the covers and she drags Freddy's hat out. Very simple, but it makes you think, how on earth have you got that?
Yeah, and like I say, very clever now. She's twigging on that she can bring him out of the dream.
Yes.
So, like you say, that's quite a freaky thing, isn't it? That she's brought his hat back. And still, at first, if I was the parent, I'd be asking, how have you got that cut? Because obviously there's been nobody in there with you. You didn't do it yourself. And where have you got this hat from? That would be the
Yes.
thing, wouldn't it? But nobody seems to take it too seriously, do they?
No. And then do we cut to the next morning? And again, a mum is in the kitchen. She's trying to hide a bottle of vodka.
The Brown residence again.
Of
and
course.
then, yes, and the mum's having none of it. And I'm thinking, this is where she says to her mum, isn't it? I brought his hat back. And she went, oh, I threw it out. But she hadn't. It's still there.
Yes.
And she
She
says,
pulls it out of a kitchen drawer, doesn't she?
yeah, you wouldn't have that in your kitchen drawer, would you?
If you're going to hide it, you're not going to hide it in the kitchen drawer unless Nancy doesn't do any cooking.
Exactly. And then, Nancy then says to her mum, doesn't she? It's got his name wrote in it, Fred
Yes.
Kruger. So
Yes.
now the mum knows, obviously now it's Freddy Kruger.
Yeah, and she smashes a bottle of vodka. I mean, there's no need for that, but she smashes a bottle of vodka.
There's other things she could have smashed in that kitchen, Darren, and the vodka shouldn't have been one of it, should
That
it?
was her only pleasure.
Exactly. So,
And she goes to meet Glenn on the bridge, doesn't she?
yeah, I found this scene quite strange because is this where she's planning now to bring him out the dream?
Yeah, I think it is. And all Glenn's bothered about is stuffing his face.
Yeah. But then, like I say, he's eating his, is it burger and fries? And
Yeah.
then she comes home, and what's her mum done to the house?
She's decorated really. No, she hasn't. She's put bars everywhere on every window and door so that she can't get out, or maybe that something can't get in.
Yeah, it's a bit excessive, isn't it?
Yes.
Just a little bit. But
Now, did you also notice the number of the house?
it was 1428.
Yes, and that actual number was stolen, wasn't it? If you didn't know,
What, from the house?
from the house, and it was never returned. And
Oh, after the film?
yeah, because of the film came and somebody stole the number, and the owners were really miffed about that, as you would be. They had to buy a new one.
Yeah. Well, you get why people do it, don't they? They want their bit of memorabilia.
Yeah. So where do you keep it nowadays, Simon?
Yeah, well, if I had them, they'd be in my man cave here, down, they'd be on the wall, but wasn't me. So, but this is next scene. This is where a mum tries to open up to her a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah, because she comes in, Nancy, doesn't she? She's shouting at her mother, and then she ends up taking her down to the boiler room
Yeah,
and
now,
tells her exactly about Kruger.
Kruger, but there was a deleted scene, like I've mentioned earlier, and I can't remember. It was either Marge's sister or another child was killed by Freddy Kruger.
Ah,
So this is why it would have made more sense. I can't remember which one it was. I think it might have been a sister was killed by Freddy Kruger. So that would have tied it in better, wouldn't it?
Yes.
But they didn't. And I thought that would have made more sense.
But she does say that he was a child murderer and he killed 20 kids in the neighbourhood.
Yeah, 20 kids.
Then she pulls the glove out and she says it went to court, but papers weren't signed and things were missed and he got away with it. So some of the parents tracked him down, didn't they? In an old boiler room where he used to take the kids, and they burned him.
Yeah, that's why he's burnt, isn't it?
That's why he's burnt, yes.
Yeah, so that all kind of ties in, doesn't it?
It does, because she then shows Nancy the glove. Can you imagine if you'd been dreaming about something and then you find out that is actually real?
Yeah, and your mum's got the glove.
Yes.
You'd be like, why didn't you get rid of it?
Yeah.
Why have you left it here?
Yeah. But then we're at Glenn's house, aren't we? And he's talking to Nancy, and she's making a plan to catch Freddy.
Do you know what I took from this scene? Why, in this film, does everybody have a TV on the bed?
Yes. But if you look at, we've mentioned it before in podcasting, those American teenagers' bedrooms, they had everything.
Yes.
Everything you want.
Definitely.
No available space whatsoever. Every mod con. And we've said it before, I'm sure every American didn't live like that. But that's the bedroom you want.
Yes, it is, definitely. And like I say, now they're talking, and she's coming up with a plan now, isn't she, to bring Freddy out the dream?
Yes, tell him just don't fall asleep.
Yeah, stay awake.
But guess what he does? He falls asleep.
Yeah, and he falls asleep with his earphones on, doesn't he? And the telly and everything. Now, as I get older, I must admit, I can fall asleep with my earphones in.
Can you really?
Yeah, I don't think I'd have been able to do it when I was younger, but I can now. But then she rings, doesn't she, just before midnight? But just before she rings, I thought of you at this scene. Just before she phones. What's Marge doing outside the airing cupboard?
she's
found another bottle and she's downing it.
She's got a million all over the place. What a house that is. What a house. If it wasn't for the glove, I'd live there.
Yeah, I know you'd live there, definitely.
But I do like Nancy because she speaks to her mum and then her mum kind of goes, doesn't she? Yeah. And then Nancy pulls out this secret coffee percolator and starts drinking coffee.
I thought exactly the same. What? Right, okay. And I know, coffee doesn't really make you stay awake, does it?
I don't like coffee, so I don't know.
No, it doesn't. And then she rings, obviously, Glenn's house, doesn't she? Because it's getting close to midnight. And then we get Glenn's mum. Do you know what I thought from this, right? I've got kids. If somebody's ringing my house at midnight, asking to speak to one of the kids, I know what I'd tell them.
Well, yes, but like we've said before, this is a family podcast.
Yeah, I'd be like, do you know what time it is? Ring them back in the morning.
And don't you think it's weird that Glenn's dad is outside looking up at Nancy's house while he's having a beer?
Yeah, exactly. And
at 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah, and the thing that took me straight back to the 80s was, if you didn't want somebody to phone you, what did you do with your phone?
You took it off the hook.
Yeah, I thought, brilliant. I remember doing that. If you had an argument with somebody, like your girlfriend or whatever, and you didn't want to speak to her, you did leave the phone off the hook.
Yes,
couldn't get you then, could they?
He were quite strict, Glenn's dad. When she phoned
Yes.
up, her mum's a bit more lenient, but Glenn's dad says he doesn't want to see you. He'll see you tomorrow. Puts the phone down and then takes it off the hook, which means Nancy is on her own, isn't she?
And she gets annoyed, doesn't she? She pulls the phone out the cord, the phone cord out the wall. But then what happens with the phone?
It rings. Another very simple little thing that they do that plays with your mind. The simpler the effect, the better.
Yes, definitely. And who's on the other end of the phone?
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy. And I've got to say, I'm sorry, the line's great, but the effects, it looks like it's made of plasticine and a 10-year-old's made it to me.
Yeah, it's not the best. It's not aged that well, shall we say. Has it? Not really. But then, obviously, now she's in plan mode, isn't she, Nancy?
Yeah, she's smashed the phone, hasn't she?
Yeah.
And she goes downstairs. Now this, I thought to myself, when I'm watching it, Simon's going to have me on this. She goes down, tries to get out the door, but where's her mother?
Oh, is she? Oh, she's on the sofa, absolutely plastered.
This is my 80s rewatch position. She's got her feet up, she's on the sofa, and she's got a bottle on.
Yeah.
Good girl.
as we'll call her from now on, Mrs. Brown, is on the sofa with a glass of it. Yeah, I did think that, because her mum doesn't even like say, you're not going out. She doesn't, but... And then obviously, she can't get out, can she? This is the thing.
No, she can't.
And her mum's just absolutely comatose, isn't she, on the sofa?
But we cut across to Glenn's house, and Freddie's got him, hasn't he?
Yeah, oh, Freddie, yeah, because you don't see this one coming, really, do you?
No, you don't, because is it me, or did Glenn not mention that he's had nightmares?
Yeah.
I don't think he does he?
He's never mentioned it. So, obviously, but this one, I think out of all the, should we say, the killings of the kids, this one was my favourite one. You know, he drags him down into the bed. With the TV, everything goes down. Duvet, stereo, cords, everything goes down. And then you just see this volcano of blood come up, don't you?
The most blood I think I've ever seen.
Yeah. Oh,
in one shot.
Really well shot. Really well done. Obviously, I think that room's upside down. You know, for if you watch it coming out, I think that room's upside down.
Okay, yeah. I think I've got my head around that.
Yeah, so it looks, you know, it's just running down, isn't it? And then poor old Glenn's mum walks into the bedroom. What would you make of that?
Oh, she absolutely screams the house down, doesn't she?
Yeah, definitely. But there was a deleted also scene where when his mum opens the door, he comes straight back up. Stood up, but comes up. Oh, he's obviously dead.
Oh, right, yeah.
And he's like just floating above the bed, stood up, dead.
Bloody hell.
That
would have been scary.
Yeah, I think that would have made it look better, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, and then obviously Lieutenant Thompson's there to come to investigate.
He is, and he waves to his daughter across
Yes.
the road first. Really frustrated. Really frustrated.
Because she's in prison.
But yeah, well, a very good way of putting it.
Yeah.
And he meets Glenn's dad, but Glenn's dad, he sees the blood dripping through the ceiling, doesn't he?
He'll get a bucket.
And yeah, he can't face it, and I'm not surprised.
Doesn't he say, where's the coroner? And he says he's in the toilet throwing up.
Yes.
Yeah, so I get that as well. You know, this isn't your regular, everyday thing you'd see, is it, to be fair?
No. And But then the lieutenant's on his phone to Nancy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And she tells him that Freddy Kruger did it.
Yeah.
And all she asks is that he comes and breaks the door down in exactly 20 minutes to come and get her at 12:30. And he agrees, doesn't he? But
Yes.
you just know he doesn't believe her. And he tells this other cop to kind of watch her house, and if anything funny happens, let me know.
Yeah. But while this is going on now, she's setting like booby traps, isn't she?
Now,
For Freddy.
is it me, or has this got Home Alone vibes?
Home Alone and Goonies vibes to me.
Yeah, of course, yes.
Yeah, that sort of thing, like the booby traps. So obviously now she's set everything up. She needs to go and get him, doesn't she?
Yes.
So she's going to sleep for the first time. She's wanting to go to sleep.
Yes, but I think she goes to see her mother first.
Yes,
and has a little
she
chat
does.
with her. And to me, it was almost though Nancy was saying her goodbyes in case she didn't come back.
Yeah.
And
get
Nancy's mum also looks like me the next day. If one bottle of red wine turns into two, she looks pretty gruesome.
Oh yeah, she's well and truly polished off that bottle. She's had enough.
Polished off.
Yeah, she's had enough. So now we see Nancy now go to sleep.
Yeah, she says a little prayer, doesn't she, before she goes to bed? And then she sets her Lotus digital watch. Did you get that one?
Oh, I got that one.
Well done.
Fantastic watch.
And she sets it at 12:20.
Yeah.
And to go off in 10 minutes.
Yes. Now she's coming downstairs and she's looking for him.
Yes.
And where does she find him?
Well, doesn't she go down into the basement to look for his glove? And is it not there?
Yes, the glove's gone. The glove has gone. So obviously Freddy's got the glove.
But also while she was going there, I'm sure I could hear voices, and probably voices of her friends that he's probably killed. I could hear them kind of in the background.
Yeah, you could be right.
But she's brave and she calls for him, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's shouting for him all the time. And then she finds a door that takes her down to the basement.
Yes. And is this where she finds her crucifix?
Yes.
That was above her bed?
She does, yeah.
Because you've got to keep up. Your mind's kind of... You're scared as you're watching this, but all sorts of little things are being dropped in at the same time. And then she finds Glenn's headphones. burning next to the furnace.
Yeah, covered in blood.
Yes.
Applicating blood. So obviously now she knows that Freddy Krueger's got Glenn. And she's still, like I say, walking around. And then I quite like how he appears. Because, again, he just appears, doesn't he, at the side of her.
Yeah, he jumps out. And there's some good jumpy scenes in this.
Yes, there is. Very good. And now this is the bit I didn't quite understand, because she jumps, but then she lands on her front lawn.
Yes, like she's jumped out of the house. But again, you're in dream mode, so anything's possible.
And then she's thinking, right, I'm here, where is he? So she's shouting, where are you? Then he appears, doesn't he, from under the trellising.
Yes.
On the front lawn.
But then a digital watch goes off, doesn't it?
Yeah, she's whacking it, isn't she? Because it's the timer's up. And
Yes.
then Fred's there and he's chasing her. But what I thought was funny, he hadn't got his hat on, had he, when he stands up?
Oh, no.
He had his hat on.
Noticed.
Yeah, he had his hat on when she first sees him. And then when she jumps, his hat's not there. So in this last bit, he hasn't got his hat on.
Yes, that's it.
So now she's obviously waking up and you think, right, is this a dream or is this not a dream?
And is this where he's there then?
Yes, because she thinks, oh, God, I failed. I haven't got him. And again, he jumps up behind her.
And she smashes a pot over his head, doesn't she?
Yeah, and like I say, it's the coffee pot.
Is it?
Yes, it's a coffee she hits him with. So there's a reason the coffee pot's there. She hits him with it. And then she's out the door and she's rigging the trap, isn't she, the sledgehammer?
She is. And she runs to the window and she shouts for help, only for that police officer to say, it's okay, everything's going to be all right. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, if someone's shouting for help, you go and have a look. You know, oh, it's fine, you'll be all right, leave it alone. And then obviously she knows Freddy's coming, but she can't get out.
No, she goes downstairs and she breaks the door window, and again she's shouting again. Now Freddy gets out of the bedroom only to be hit by this big hammer, which makes him fall down the stairs at her feet. Now, going back to earlier, when Freddy was in the cell with Rod, he kind of came through the bars, didn't he?
Yes.
Like a ghost. Why did he do that with the door? Why was he struggling?
Point. Yeah, I never thought that. Why didn't he do that? But he doesn't.
But now he's downstairs at her feet, and Nancy coaxes him into the living room. And again, he kicks a tripwire, which causes this lamp to explode. And she's already put explosive in this lamp. And she's kind of winning the battle.
Yeah, she's beating him at his own game, basically, isn't she now? So,
and she's still screaming at the window all the time. And this time, the officer kind of thinks something's not quite right and goes to get her dad.
And she's now going downstairs into the basement.
Yes.
And Freddy is chasing her. Now, I noticed something last night. You know, he's looking round the corner just before she throws the petrol on him.
Yes.
And she shouts, Freddy, doesn't she? He actually jumps when she shouts, Freddy. Did you notice that?
I never did.
Yeah, so he's looking round the corner. So I don't know if she actually made Robert Englund jump when they were filming it, but he actually jumps. You can see him jump. And then, look at her. You know, like I would do if you didn't see me. I said, Darren, you make you jump.
Yes.
And then obviously she throws the paraffin or petrol on him and sets him on fire.
Oh, now full play to the stunt people who do these things.
Yeah.
Because you saw him on fire. I know it didn't look so much like Freddy Krueger, but the guy who's doing it is on fire for quite a while. And there were no CGI in those days. He was really on fire.
Yeah, because he crawls up the stairs, doesn't he?
Yes.
He walks round and then he crawls up the stairs on fire. Now, this is the bit where obviously she gets her dad's attention. Well, they get her dad's attention. And there's smoke coming out the windows.
Yes.
So now they have to try and break in. They break in. She says, I've got him. He's obviously in the basement. And then when they go into the basement, he's not there, is he?
No. And they come back upstairs and see these footprints on fire going all the way upstairs, which is a brilliant, again, simple little effect.
But why did her dad not notice the footprints on the floor? Is it only her that can see them, do you think?
I never thought of it that way. Maybe so, yes.
He doesn't comment on it and he just walks normally where she steps over them.
But when they do get upstairs, Freddy is trying to strangle Nancy's mom, and he throws a blanket over, doesn't he, to put the fire out.
Also, what I thought of this scene, you'll like this. Obviously, Freddy's on fire, isn't he?
Yes.
she's been polishing off a bottle of vodka or whatever, she'd be quite flammable, don't you think?
Yeah.
You think she'd go up a bit. So obviously, like I say, he throws the sheet on and then he puts Freddy out. But then we see it's the mother, isn't it, that's been burnt,
Yes.
like skeletal burnt, isn't it, really? And she goes through the bed.
Which I found a bit strange myself.
Yeah, because even her dad's looking as if to say, what was that?
And she even waves before she goes under.
Yeah. And then obviously he pushes the other policeman away and he's giving her a hug and saying, like, it's over. But it isn't really, is it? And then he leaves, doesn't he?
Yes.
And then Freddy now reappears again.
Yes, he does.
Because you can't really get rid of him. But this next scene is something that Glenn said to her earlier in the film. Can you remember?
No, I don't think I can.
He said that when he's coming for like a nightmare or whatever in your dream, you just turn your back on them.
Ah, that was on the bridge.
Yes, you turn your back. So she's turned her back on him. So basically, she's making out now that she doesn't believe in him. But as she's got a back turned, you see him coming up through the sheet, don't you?
Yes.
His head, like, still smouldering a little bit.
But good. It looks good.
Very good. And then obviously you see the claws and he comes out the sheet. But what I couldn't understand is, why doesn't he go for it?
I think maybe it's what she said then.
Yes.
She says, "You're just a dream. I want my friends back and I want my mother back." And she doesn't believe him. And I think that takes away his power.
Yeah, I think that's it. Because now she's saying, I don't believe in you. That's it. You're done. Let's go. Leave me alone. And as he lunges for her, he disappears, doesn't he?
He does. She's taken away all his power.
Yeah, she's, in theory, won the battle. And then it's over. And I thought when I watched this, the build-up for this, the fight scene wasn't very long.
No, it was quite good. I still enjoyed it.
Yeah,
and it was justifiable.
Yeah, it was just a bit, I don't know, it kind of let me down a bit how he just disappears.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah,
You know,
wanted
it's like
a little bit more.
More from it. And then this bit is quite strange because then she's outside on the porch the next morning and her mum's there and they're talking.
And do you know what they're talking about? Her mum's even going on about stopping drinking.
Yes, you should
Why?
listen to that. You should
Why?
listen to that. You need to listen to every word that comes out of that woman's mouth. And then obviously they're talking and she said it's going to be better now for all of them, this, that, and then the car turns up, doesn't it? The red car, Glenn's car.
And this reminds me of when Tina, Rod and Glenn we first see them because they arrive at school in the car. It just reminded me of that kind of little bit. But
Yeah.
your head's playing with you because you're thinking, oh, hang on a minute, oh, you were dead. But
do you notice the scene's quite misty?
yes.
So I'm thinking, is this real? Then obviously the roof comes up on the car.
Yep.
The windows go up. What colour's the roof?
It's green and red.
Green and red. So, and another bit of trivia at this point, they were going to have Freddy driving the car instead of Glenn. You know, when the roof comes over, Freddy's driving the car. But they didn't, and they went with the option that they did. Now this bit, you see the girls again skipping, and then the window breaks.
Yes.
How does he drag her through that window?
Well, I'm sorry, it's just a blow-up doll. That's all it is.
It's got to be.
I've never liked that
down.
scene.
No, and that's Nightmare on Elm Street done.
Because, sorry, just before that, you cued the creepy music. The
Yes.
children, like you said, were singing the song. And you realise that Freddy is not dead.
No. And then you, like say, see his arm. And it tees up then, he's not been killed. It leaves it open then for another sequel. And we got numerous sequels
Certainly
after this,
did.
didn't we? You know,
Certainly did. It was
some
really
of them
popular.
some of them were really good. I mean, I like the second one. I think it's number 3, Dreamcatchers, or is that 4? That wasn't bad. For me, after this, it just went to the bizarre.
Yes.
It did, didn't it? And the one that let me down the most in the series, which I was actually looking forward to, and it really let me down, was Freddy versus Jason.
I've never seen it.
It let me down. It wasn't good. And it could have been good. It could have been really good. But it let me down, Darren. But this one still holds up to a degree that I wouldn't say it's frightening horror, like it was when it first came out, but
No,
it's still a decent horror.
yeah, I think when I look back after rewatching it, yeah, I'll agree. It looks a little bit dated. It looks a little bit tacky. But there are some brilliant scenes in it too. I mean, the bit where Tina's spinning around the bedroom, or where Glenn's blood is splattered all over his bedroom. And then there are the simple little touches, like when Nancy brings Freddy's hat out of a dream, or the crucifix just flicking off the wall, or Tina's dead body being pulled through that school corridors. All very little simple, but all really effective. And I kind of remember those things more than the Freddy itself, really.
Yeah, you do. You remember those little bits, and for its time, I would imagine this was like a very, very good horror.
Oh,
in
it was.
84,
Yeah, it
so-
was. It was the talk of the school I was in. Everybody was talking about it. I mean, okay, we've said the good things. They're not so good. Freddy's long arms, the phone with the tongue on it,
Yeah,
and as we just mentioned, the blow-up doll at the end. But
Well,
it was also 1984.
it's 42 years old. So, and we're still watching a film 42 years old, and we're still enjoying a 42-year-old film.
Oh,
So
definitely.
that shows you it still holds up today in 2026.
And,
So-
and we, as you mentioned earlier, I didn't realise just how little Freddy talked in it.
Yeah, and like I say, he doesn't really talk, but he's only on screen 7 minutes.
Wow. But I suppose he doesn't need to because that glove speaks volumes.
It's like anything. I think it's the anticipation of the character that he's in the background. You don't see him, but you know he's there. And
Yes, very
sometimes-
sinister.
Yeah, I quite like that sometimes. Other than seeing them straight away and they're straight into doing what they're doing, I like the build up of it. That slowness of it, and it is a very good film. And I'd probably still rate it a 7 out of 10, even now. You know what I mean?
I would probably from memory.
Yes.
I'm thinking how I felt back then, and it does still remind me of the talk at school. It reminds me of a girl that wouldn't go to sleep for ages because Freddy was in a dream, and yeah, they're just rumours, but you bought into them. You just had that element about you at that time was, well, what if it is true?
Yeah,
I'm
you're right.
I'm okay being all big and clever when it's daylight, but when I'm climbing into bed on my own, those things are a little bit more real. And
Yeah.
remember, I mean, there were scarier films, and we have to remember this was the decade of the video nasty as well, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
So for me, Nightmare on Elm Street, it'll always bring back memories. Yeah, and I think Freddy Krueger has taken his place in 80s horror elite.
I think he does, and I think, like you've just said, I remember at school, I would say that Freddy Krueger was the horror superstar of that era. When I was at school in the late 80s,
Yes.
everybody knew who Freddy Krueger was. Everybody had seen Nightmare on Elm Street, and I remember going to a friend of mine's house, and I think it was 2 or 3. He said, "I've got one of them. Shall we watch it?" And everybody wanted to watch these films because back then, you watched horror, you watched everything. Where, like I said earlier, nowadays as I'm getting older, I don't bother with the horror genre much. To be fair,
Yes.
it's I like the old horrors like this one. I do. I like the horrors we grew up with, but the new ones I couldn't even tell you what they are. To be fair,
Not really. Yes, I think again, Nightmare on Elm Street plays on the Twilight Zones for me. It plays on all the simple little things that make you think. It's not just gruesome. I think it'd be pretty boring if he just went up to people and slashed them all the time because
Yeah.
it'd be too samey. So
Yeah.
you had to add some kind of element to your brain, and it does make you wonder if that's what goes through Wes Craven's head when he was growing up. If he had all these ideas, or whether he even had nightmares.
you've got to think, and I always think with these films, somebody's come up with this film, so somebody's thought about it.
Yes.
Somebody has to write this down on paper and do the scenes, screenplay and stuff like that. So somebody's come up with these ideas. So, like I say, I'm not a massive horror fan, to be fair. I love films, I do, but it's not really I mean, some people I know, some of my friends are majorly into these horror films. They really are. So, nothing against it. I enjoyed it. I enjoy Freddy Krueger. I enjoy, like you say, Poltergeist, Friday the 13th, Halloween. that sort of genre of horror is my
Yes.
sort of horror era, should we say.
Very good. So, with that in mind, Simon, A Nightmare on Elm Street done, which film will we be rewatching next time?
I think you're going to like this one. I've given it some thought, and I had to smile earlier at the very start of this podcast. You said something, and I thought, well, you don't know what's coming. Do you remember what you said at the start of the podcast?
I don't know.
It was in the top 10,
Okay, yeah.
and the film we will be covering next time on 80s Rewatch, Darren, is finally we're going to do an Eddie Murphy film, and it's Beverly Hills Cop.
Yes. Get in there. Yes.
But
Yes.
we've spoke about it every time we've done the top 10, and we've both said Eddie Murphy. So I thought you might have got it in before me. So I thought this time, no, it's got to be Beverly Hills Cop, because
Yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop is just fantastic.
What a character. What a character
Definitely.
Eddie Murphy is. Brilliant.
Yes.
Right, okay. Well, please join us next time with myself and Simon, where we will be rewatching Beverly Hills Cop on 80s Rewatch.